So JBL have just released their brand new Clip 5 portable Bluetooth speaker, and with some significant upgrades over the previous generation Clip 4, well, should you upgrade? Or if you're looking at buying a portable Bluetooth speaker, should you buy the Clip 4 or the Clip 5? Because at the moment the Clip 4 is available for substantially less. We're going to get into all of that right here, right now. Let's get into it. So design wise, these do look very similar, but there are some slight differences. First, you'll notice they both have this carabiner design, which allows the speakers to hang off pretty much anything. The carabiner opening on the top of the Clip 5 is a lot more open and a lot flatter though, which allows it to hook on a lot more other things a lot easier. The Clip 4, however, does have the carabiner going all the way around the outside of it, which does offer it some more protection than what you've got with the Clip 5. And if you don't believe that this can offer you protection, well, underneath here, this is all chips from when my son has decided to drop it on concrete or God knows what. So it definitely adds a certain level of protection to your speakers. Now, size wise and weight wise, you are going to notice that the Clip 5 is ever so slightly bigger than the Clip 4. It's taller, a little bit wider, a little bit thicker as well. It also weighs about an extra 100 grams. And other than that, the design is fairly similar. So you've got the big JBL logo on the front, you've got the play pause button in the middle with the volume up and down either side. That play button in the middle, if you double press it, also works as a skip track forwards. And in a plus for the Clip 5, if you triple tap that play button, it'll also go back a track as well. And that's something that the Clip 4 doesn't do. You've also got buttons on the side for power, Bluetooth pairing, and on the Clip 5 there's an Auracast button, and I'll get to what that does later. Now there's a bit of a design change on the back, so if you look at my Clip 4 here, you do have these sort of rubberized strips which sort of helps it stay on the table. Now you'll notice I'm actually missing about half of the strips because they've come unglued from the speaker. This is because this speaker gets used a lot. And when I mean a lot, I do mean a lot. I've had it for about 2 years now. My son definitely uses it in the shower probably most days, and I guess the steam and the humidity in the shower just makes that glue on stuck over time. So rather than glue it back down, he decided to just peel it off and throw it away. So I would say if you do get this, then just be mindful of that, and you can just glue it back down and it would be fine. I think, however, JBL have realized this mistake in their design because the rubberized strips on the back of the Clip 5 are definitely better. There's far less of them, they're a lot thicker, and they're actually embedded into the speaker grill rather than just sitting on top. So I would expect the grips on the Clip 5 to last a lot longer than they will on the Clip 4, but then only time will tell with that. There are other similarities between the two as well. So both of these are dustproof and water resistant because they both have an IP67 rating. So if these get chucked into a pool or you go and take them down the beach, you don't have to worry about them. They also both have USB-C ports in the bottom for USB-C charging. They will both take 3 hours to charge up to full. The battery life is slightly different. The Clip 4 has 10 hours of battery life and the Clip 5 has 12 hours of battery life. You can actually get an extra 3 hours of battery life if you enable Play Boost. So this actually changes the EQ signature of the speaker to give you more battery life. And you'll hear what that sounds like in the sound test, which we'll do in a bit, as to whether it's worth getting more battery life to sacrifice that sound quality. Now, sound wise, there is a difference in these speakers, not in only how they sound, but how loud they go and the technical specs as well. So the Clip 4 has a frequency range of 100 Hz to 20 kHz. The Clip 5 has a slightly larger range of 95 Hz to 20 kHz. So you should get slightly better bass on the Clip 5. There is a fairly big difference in volume as well. So the Clip 5 is 40% louder than the Clip 4. So it's 5 watts on the Clip 4, 7 watts on the Clip 5. I would say though that the Clip 4 can easily go loud enough to fill a room, well, like this size, which is about 3 meters square. However, the Clip 5 definitely goes louder. So now we're going to do a sound test so you can hear what both of these sound like, so you can make up your mind as to which one you think sounds better. We'll also do that party boost test. You can hear what the sound signature sounds like when you have that battery saving mode on. Now, of course, do bear in mind that you're listening to a recording of this, so it's not the same as if you're sitting in the room with here, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what they would sound like.
It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that
So what did you think sounded the best? Well, I definitely think the Clip 5 sounded a lot louder, and there was definitely more bass in the 5 over the 4. I did think there was a lot more treble on the Clip 5, and I did think the mids in the Clip 4 were actually better. However, that doesn't really matter, because whilst the Clip 4 has no mobile app support, Clip 5 does. So they've added mobile app support for the Clip 5. So you can jump into the JBL app on your mobile phone and you can change the graphic equalizer for the Clip 5. You can change it from the JBL signature mode into a number of other presets, or you can jump into a custom EQ and tweak that 5-band graphic equalizer to exactly your sound preference. And that is awesome and something that was sorely missed from the Clip 4. That app also allows this to get firmware updates as well, so as JBL hopefully improves this over time, it's just going to sound even better. As for that play boost function, well, yes, it is going to give you better, longer battery, an extra 3 hours over the normal battery life. But the impact that it has on the sound quality, it kills the bass. And for me, I don't think the sacrifice in sound quality is worth the extra battery life. So as well as the sound difference, there are some key differences the Clip 5 has over the Clip 4. One of them I've already mentioned, which is the mobile app support. And with the 5-band graphic EQ, a whole bunch of EQ presets, the ability to do firmware upgrades as well, I think that's a much needed upgrade over the Clip 4. Not saying the Clip 4 sounded bad, you've just got a lot more customization with having mobile app support. Second is pairing, because not only can you pair the Clip 5 with another Clip 5 for true stereo pairing, but you can pair it up with any other Auracast compatible speaker or a range of Auracast compatible speakers using the button on the side here. Now at the moment that is just limited to JBL Auracast speakers, but in the future they could open it up to pretty much any branded Auracast, because that's supposed to be a standard rather than a JBL specific thing. And it kind of makes sense in their bigger speakers. Whether it's something you're going to be doing in their smaller speakers, I don't know, but it's great to be able to have that option. So all up, if I look at the Clip 4 and the Clip 5, which of these do I think you should get? Well, I would say that the Clip 4 is the most used speaker in my house. It is used all the time, whether it's in the shower, whether it's outside, whether it's taking down the beach. It goes everywhere pretty much, which is why it's kind of lost some of the padding on the back as well, just because it gets used so much. And the Clip 5 just takes everything that was great about the Clip 4 and just improves it. It is slightly bigger, but you get more sound, you get more battery life, you get mobile app support, you get the Auracast pairing, and at $80, it is the same price that the Clip 4 was at when it was released, and so I just think that makes this a great portable speaker. However, the Clip 4 is now even cheaper, because you can pick this up for $50, and this is still a great little speaker. So if you don't mind missing out on a few features, then I still think the Clip 4 is a good buy. And if you've got the Clip 4, then should you upgrade? Well, I think unless you really want the extra features of the Clip 5, then it's probably not worth it. If you want something louder than the Clip 4, then it's definitely worth checking out the link up here. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. As always, I'll see you in the next one.